History isn't just what happened, it's also what almost happened. A single vote, one decision, one moment. But what if events went another way? Join us on the journey as we explore what if baseball stayed segregated. Baseball calls itself timeless, a game untouched by politics, a place where merit decides everything. But that was never true. In our world, baseball eventually changed. In this world, it doesn't. The color line doesn't crack, it doesn't weaken, it doesn't fall, it hardens. And because it hardens in the most visible cultural institution in America, it teaches the country something far more dangerous than exclusion. It teaches it how to justify it. After World War II, pressure builds. Black veterans return home demanding recognition. Civil rights groups organize. Journalists begin asking questions. Inside baseball, owners consider integration. But something shifts. Southern politicians quietly intervene. Sponsors threaten to withdraw. Broadcasters warn of national division. And one phrase begins to circulate: why disrupt a system that already works? No one signs a black player. But this time it isn't silence, it's explanation. Segregation is no longer hidden. It is defended. The Negro Leagues do not collapse, they surge. Investment flows in from black entrepreneurs, churches, and civic organizations. Stadiums expand. Radio networks grow. Teams become regional powerhouses. Games become more than games. They are rallies, economic engines, spaces of autonomy. Black baseball becomes undeniable. And that is exactly what makes it dangerous. Because success, visible, undeniable success, begins to challenge the foundation of segregation itself. White America notices, not gradually, but suddenly. Newspapers begin covering Negro League attendance numbers. Radio broadcasts leak across markets. Young white fans become curious. And then the reaction begins. Editorials shift tone. Separate leagues preserve tradition. Cultural differences require separation. Parallel success proves equality does not require integration. The argument evolves. Segregation is no longer framed as exclusion. It is reframed as balance. Separate, but equal. Politicians seize the narrative. If black baseball is thriving, if it is strong, profitable, culturally rich, then segregation can be justified not as oppression, but as structure. New legal frameworks emerge. Federal policy begins quietly reinforcing separation, not just in schools, but in funding streams, media licensing, and infrastructure. The courts shift. Separate but equal is no longer a relic of the past. It is modernized, defended, refined, and this time it is national. In this world, Jackie Robinson is not a pioneer, he is a problem. He dominates black baseball. He speaks constantly about inequality, about hypocrisy, about systems. His voice spreads, and so does the response. White media frames him as destabilizing. Politicians call him divisive. Broadcasts limit coverage of his games. Robinson becomes one of the most recognized figures in the country, and one of the most deliberately contained. By the 1960s, America is no longer one culture struggling with division. It is two cultures, structurally separated. White baseball becomes ritualized, nostalgic, controlled. Black baseball becomes vibrant, political, alive. There are no shared heroes, no shared championships, no shared memory. Even entertainment divides. Music, film, media ecosystems drift apart. Baseball didn't just reflect segregation, it modeled it. The civil rights movement still rises. But without integrated baseball, something is missing. There is no cultural proof, no example millions can point to and say, this works. When activists march, opponents point to baseball. Even our most beloved institution remains separate. The argument lands. Legislation passes, but but slowly, partially, defensively. Equality becomes legal language, not lived experience. By the 1970s, the world is watching. Decolonization spreads across Africa and Asia. Human rights movements gain global attention. And the United States faces a choice. It does not reform, it doubles down. Citing cultural stability and mutual development, the U.S. formally strengthens policies rooted in separation. And then, something unthinkable happens. It aligns itself diplomatically with apartheid-era South Africa. Not openly at first, but unmistakably. The response is immediate. International sports federations isolate American teams. Olympic participation becomes contested. Cultural boycotts expand. Baseball, once America's global symbol, becomes its liability. Countries refuse exhibition games. Players are denied visas. Broadcast deals collapse. The world sees America not as a flawed democracy, but as a country choosing segregation in full view. Sanctions begin, informal at first. Trade partnerships strain. Tourism declines. Cultural exports lose influence. Inside the U.S., the division deepens. White baseball survives, but shrinks, insulated and aging. Black baseball thrives culturally, but remains economically constrained by policy. Two systems, neither able to fully grow, both trapped. By the 21st century, segregation is no longer debated. It is embedded. Children inherit it without question. Schools reference parallel development. Media avoids confrontation. Politics manages division instead of challenging it. Baseball remains, but it no longer unites. It organizes separation. In this world, baseball never desegregates. And because it doesn't, something far more dangerous happens. Segregation evolves. It adapts. It justifies itself. It becomes policy, culture, identity. The lesson is not that baseball failed to change the country. It's that it showed the country how not to. How to take injustice, normalize it, and then defend it as stability. And once that happens, the line is no longer a barrier. It becomes a border. And borders are meant to last. What are history's what-ifs you'd like to see explored? Leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe.